Good morning, guys. This week we'll be studying historical fiction. Remember that the characters and plot are not real, but the setting is real and based on a real time period in history. Today's story, Rose Blanche, takes place during what's called the Holocaust in 1940s Germany. This is Adolf Hitler, leader of the Nazi Party and dictator of the Third Reich in Germany from 1933 to 1945. He started World War II to get more land for Germany and to create what the Nazis believed was a master race of people with blonde hair, blue eyes, and white skin. The Nazis hated and killed anyone who did not fit into that category. This is the Nazi salute people would do to show their support to Hitler. Hitler and the Nazis focused most of their hatred on the Jewish people. They labeled them, tattooed them with ID numbers, and put them in concentration camps to work and/or be killed. They killed Jewish people, Slavic people, Polish people, LGBTQ people, communists, socialists, people with disabilities. Anyone that they did not think was worthy of their master race was killed. Hitler and the Nazis killed 12 million people during the Holocaust. That's the equivalent of every man, woman, and child in Los Angeles, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, and the Bronx combined. These children are in one of those concentration camps. This is the most well-known concentration camp, called Auschwitz. It was liberated or freed by the Soviets on January 27, 1945. The Allies defeated Germany, and the war ended in May 1945. In our book, Rose Blanche, today we're going to see some of those real historical facts. Rose Blanche by Roberto Innocenti. My name is Rose Blanche. I live in a small town in Germany with narrow streets, old fountains, and tall houses with pigeons on the roofs. One day the first truck arrived and many men left. They were dressed as soldiers. Winter was beginning. I'm seeing a lot of Nazi flags here. Even our main character, Rose Blanche, is holding a Nazi flag. Now the trucks follow each other under the school windows. They're full of soldiers we don't know, but they wink at us. They drive tanks that make sparks on the cobblestones. They're so noisy and smell like diesel oil. They hurt my ears, and I have to hold my nose when they pass by. Sometimes it seems things haven't really changed, but my mother wants me to be careful crossing the street between all the trucks. She says soldiers won't slow down. Lots of times I walk by the river just looking at it. Branches float along, and sometimes old broken toys. I like the color of the river. It looks like the sky. It seems like the author is trying to create a mood here, with the gloomy color scheme, telling us about the old broken toys, and telling us that soldiers won't slow down when they're driving, even when children are crossing the street. So this was a very dangerous time for people. The trucks are fun to watch. We stand in the doorway as they pass. We don't know where they're going, but we think they're going someplace on the other side of the river. One day, one of them stopped so the soldiers could repair the engine. A little boy jumped from the back of the truck and tried to run away, but the mayor was standing there in the middle of the street. He grabbed the little boy by the collar and brought him back to the truck. Then he smiled at the soldiers without speaking, and they thanked him. The sky was gray. So I'm noticing that the mayor looks a little bit like Hitler. He has the same mustache, and I see the Nazi symbol on his arm. My guess is that this little boy was trying to escape, and they put him back in the truck. We still don't know where those trucks are going. The soldiers climbed back into the truck, doors banged shut, and it pulled away. It happened very fast. I wanted to know where the little boy went, so I watched the truck until it disappeared around the corner. The street was crowded, kids were playing, there were bicycles and farmers' tractors all over. It was noisy just like every day when school is out. But I walked on the sidewalk ignoring everyone, and no one saw me. I walked for a long time, past the edge of town into the open fields where I had never been. The clouds were gray, everything was frozen. Sometimes I ran. I followed the tracks into the forest and found a clearing. Suddenly, electric barbed wire stopped me. Behind it, there were some children standing still. I didn't know any of them. The youngest said they were hungry. Since I had a piece of bread, I carefully handed it to them through the pointed wires. They all stood in front of long wooden houses. The sun was setting behind the hills. It was windy. I was cold. So we see that this is one of the concentration camps. This is where they were bringing that little boy. We can also see that some of them have the yellow stars of David, showing us that those children are Jewish. Weeks passed by in the pale winter. Rose Blanche's appetite surprised her mother. She took more to school than she ate at home. Real quick, I noticed that the author just changed perspectives halfway through the book. Before, Rose Blanche was telling the story, I was cold. But now we've switched to a narrator. I wonder why the author needed someone else to tell the story. Rose Blanche's appetite surprised her mother. She took more to school than she ate at home. All the bread and butter she could carry, even more jam and apples from the cellar. Rose Blanche was getting thinner. In town, only the mayor was staying fat. Everyone watched everyone else. Rose Blanche hid her food in her school bag and sneaked out of school early. By now, she knew the road by heart. There were more children by the wooden houses, and they were also getting thinner behind the barbed wire fence. Some of them had a star pinned on their shirts. It was bright yellow. Now, I just want to remind you guys that her family is German. They're part of the Nazi Party. She has the blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin. She could have been safe, and she could have stayed out of this. But she's choosing to help these people in need. When the snow melted and the streets were very muddy, the trucks full of weary soldiers drove only at night, this time in the other direction. They were coming with no lights on from the far side of the river, and they never stopped. One morning, all the people of the town fled, carrying pots and burlap bags and chairs. There were soldiers among them. Some had torn uniforms. Some were limping, some were in pain and asking for water. Rose Blanche disappeared that day. She had walked into the forest again. So if even soldiers are running away, it seems like something very serious is about to happen. Maybe this is where the Soviets come in and free the concentration camp. Fog had erased the road. Rose Blanche was hopping around the mud puddles to keep her shoes clean. In the middle of the woods, the clearing had changed. It was empty. All the kids are gone. Rose Blanche dropped her school bag full of food. She stood still. Shadows were moving between the trees. It was hard to see them. Soldiers saw the enemy everywhere. There was a shot. At that moment in town, some other soldiers arrived. Their trucks and their tanks were also noisy, and they smelled like diesel oil. But their uniforms were a different color, and they spoke a different language. So I'm guessing these are the Soviets. Rose Blanche's mother waited a long time for her little girl. The crocuses finally sprang up from the ground. The river swelled and overflowed its banks. Trees were green and full of birds. Spring sang.